I have a thing I'm trying to work out, and it's with Thomas Builds a Fire. I have a fascination with him, but I'm not quite sure what iteration of him. So as I'm thinking about how Thomas Builds the Fire has sort of woven his way into different narratives of yours, how does the fascination that you have with him, where did that come from?
Well, he's autobiographical, so it's not hard to figure out my fascination with myself. I'm a writer. So, but the idea of an ignored storyteller, the idea wrapped around of Native American culture being so story-oriented and, so wrapped up in the oral tradition, that the idea that a storyteller, a traditional guy, would be ignored, I think is just an interesting conflict inside of any narrative. And inside a tribal context, the ignored storyteller, that's sort of a minor key tragedy. So I always saw him as the storyteller as tragic figure.
So someone like me who's approaching it not from an autobiographical, just sort of through the lens that you provide, when it came together with that oral tradition and everything and how the cadence of how the actor delivered that character and smoke signals, that brought those worlds together for me. Was that something that when you were thinking about smoke signals and you were thinking about Thomas Builds the Fire and other narratives, or yourself, as you said, when you were able to see even just down to the level of how he would deliver that story or become engaged in it?
Well, I mean, Evan, the actor, makes his own personal decisions and how he presented the character. And I remember when he talked about it afterwards during interviews, he said that essentially in playing Thomas, he was playing his own grandmother. Evan was playing his grandmother. That's who he was channeling and thinking about when he was playing Thomas. So I find it fascinating that he played a 20-something native male as a 70-something native female. And I think that androgyny really shone through in a way that I didn't write it, and the way I'd never conceived of Thomas as being. So the creation of Thomas and Smoke Signals is the work of all sorts of people, and primarily Evan. But what I really enjoyed on a most basic level is presenting this Native American character who'd never been seen before. Somebody who was contemporary, utterly contemporary, but also heavily informed by tribal traditions, and also sort of romanticized himself, and in the end was a nerd, a Native American nerd, which is a brand new idea. And what I really enjoyed was when Indians got mad at the character and called it stereotypical. Which made me laugh. I thought, this character has never existed before. How can a new character be stereotypical? But I think what it was is that people were responding, Native Americans were responding to the stereotype of native males as warriors, as these strong, war-built, hunting, six-pack abs, even though we had no six-packs. What would you call a six-pack for a 19th century Indian? These incredibly, muscular guys, and then you see this small, geeky, nerdy dude, and I think what they were responding to, I think there was an undercurrent of misogyny, actually, that this character who was masculine and feminine. So I think there was this reaction inside the Native American world against him that was revealing of their own belief in long-established stereotypes. Mm-hmm. I mean, because if there's one thing people really don't know about Native American males is that we are actually probably the most androgynous group of males on the planet. And I mean that as a compliment. We grow up in matriarchies. We grew up, you look at Native American culture and it's the men who wear the bright colors, like birds. Mm-hmm. So our songs, are high-pitched. The way we speak is high-pitched. We wear our hair long. So I think in terms of typically representing yourself as a gender, I think Native American males are fascinatingly androgynous. And I think through writing Thomas and creating him and then having Evan play him, I think that androgyny really became an interesting late 20th century examination of that.